What's up, Internet? It's your host, Rafal Matuszewski. It's another edition of Cut to Shit, Get Fit. I'm pumped. It's sunny. It's been raining like a shit ton here in Vancouver. But it is what it is. Let's do some shout outs because I remembered to look. New number one city. We have Budapest, all the way in Hungary. Shout out to everyone in Budapest listening to my show. That is super cool. Number two is Copenhagen, out in Denmark. Shout out to everyone in Denmark listening to my show. And number three, out in California. Shout out to everyone in LA listening to my show. That is awesome. I need to get back. I'm hoping November I'll be able to go back to LA. Let's get on to the show. I'm pumped about this topic. We're going to talk about breathing, about how it relates to movement, efficiency, quality, and a little bit of injury prevention. So if you take an audit of every sport or movement-based sport that requires grace and resiliency, breath is key, right? Ask any yogi how important breathing is when it comes to getting into certain poses, transitioning from poses. Ask any gymnast that needs to create some sort of isometric contraction, some sort of movement, how breath is important. Ask any martial artist in any kind of level or any kind of style. Let it be, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to wrestling to any form of fighting. Breath is so crucial. And now let's kind of think back to what we do in the gym. Are we actually utilizing proper breathing to control our movement? So in order to have movement, you need to have a breath, right? Are you holding your breath when you're trying to do a movement because it's difficult and it's, you're just trying to get through it? Like, that's not the best way. Now we're adding tension to parts of our body that shouldn't have tension, and lo and behold, down the road, we feel tight. And I put that into air quotes, right? So you kind of want to reset yourself from the very beginning. And this is a kind of a concept I've been thinking about, listening to Gray Cook and some other people in the breathing space. So I started kind of thinking about all my exercises I do with my clients, and I'm like, am I teaching them proper breathing strategies in order to get the most out of their exercise? So if I'm getting someone doing a goblet squat or just a squat in general, like, I realize I don't really teach proper breathing as much as I should. Like, how much big of a difference would it make to a client or an athlete or someone that you're training that's in front of you, that if you told them that as you go down in your goblet squat, I want you to take a deep belly breath in. At the bottom of your squat, I want you to hold that isometric position for one full Mississippi, and as you come up, you exhale as hard as possible to expel that. I spat everywhere when I said that. Expel that amount of force, that intra-abdominal pressure you created, and drive that thing up, right? You almost want to think about a powerlifter getting into their, 1 rep max kind of situation, and if their breath is not there, they will collapse, right? And now think of different types of exercises that you do that require proper breathing, in a sense that the tempo might change, the duration might change. So kind of going back to what I was saying earlier about a yogi, like, they don't really need to practice those hard intra-abdominal pressure like breathing strategies. because their body doesn't need to be in those situations. The breath has to kind of mimic the movement. So when you think about what our spine's like, so if you take the cat-cow movement, for example, as we go into extension, when we arch our backs looking up, our body and spine tend to like us inhaling in those positions. When we round our spine as the crown of our head goes down towards our chest and our tailbone tucks under, your body and your spine really enjoy the feeling of exhaling in those positions. If you want to try this, do that in reverse. As you look up and arch your back, try exhaling, and you'll be like, oh, that feels kind of weird. And then when you go into the flexion portion where you round your back, try to inhale in that position. It just almost feels wrong. And this is like a great example of how our breath dictates movement, right? And now think about, maybe there's other stuff that I do in the gym, or if there's a class that I do, maybe my breath is kind of off and I'm not creating the proper environment for my body to move the way it should. So when I take a patient and teach them shoulder cars for rehabbing their shoulder, 100% of the time, they're all holding their breath because they're scared of pain. When in reality, when you start utilizing better breathing techniques, you'll be able to find more global workspace within the joint and kind of create a safer environment. Because if I hold my breath, I'm telling my nervous system to put its red flags up to be prepared for something. So if we go back to that powerlifter example where she's doing her 1 rep max with fucking 300 pounds on her back and gets down to the bottom of the hole of her squat and she's holding on to her breath, don't you think that triggers some sort of response to your nervous system to be like, brace like no other brace you've ever done in your life to make sure my spine doesn't crack in half, so then I can drive my hips up and squat this bar off my back? It makes sense. So now if you start thinking about creating different breathing strategies to create a better environment for our bodies to move in, think about what movements you do for exercise. If I am constantly just huffing and puffing during just bicep curls, like I'll probably hyperventilate and pass out. But if I try to time my breath to the movement, I will probably get a better pump, that the gym bros say, compared to just kind of moving through the motion, right? And I kind of look at breathing as kind of the first step to movement quality. So if I can tune my breath with the movement, my movement's going to look so much better. And if my movement's better, then the exercise that I'm trying to utilize is going to yield me more results. So if I squat without any kind of breathing strategy and I'm just kind of flopping all over the place, I'm not creating a environment where I'm actually going to succeed, right? These are the kind of the bigger picture things that I'm constantly thinking about that can, yield huge results. Like, go to any mixed martial artist and ask them about how important breath is on every single kick, every single punch, every single lock and hold they get someone on the ground, when they're grappling, when they're trying to get out of a hold. Like, breathing is so key, right? If you go to any old school martial artists, they will teach you the importance of breath. Like, look in the kettlebell world, how important breath is, and saving your breath in order to endure the entire workout. If you look up from kind of the Russian kind of background kettlebells, they have something called dragon breath in order to preserve the amount of oxygen so they don't get gassed out, and they improve their work capacity that way. Like, the aerobic system is something that people don't talk enough about, especially in kind of I call it the top 40 fitness space, and not, the underground world where nerds like me go into and try to learn as much as possible. So breathing really think about it. Next time you're in the gym, next time you're working out, ask yourself, is my breathing strategy I'm choosing right now, is it going to magnify and improve my results with the exercise I'm doing? Probably not. Think about it. I'm going to end it there. Let that dissolve in your brain. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know what you think about that. Again, thank you so much for listening. You guys are amazing. Remember, this Saturday, my ebook, The Ironclad Body Training System, goes on sale for $25. The original price is $57. I'm like, that's more than 50%. I haven't even worked that out. Is that 60, 62? I don't know, but that's a huge discounted rate because I want as many people as possible following my program because I just feel that so many people can benefit. So check that out. I will hit up the link to my sale page on Saturday, literally at midnight on Saturday. The link will be up. It's going to be discounted, and just snag a copy. Don't wait. Don't miss out, because I'm not going to put this thing on sale again because I got some other projects on the go. That's it for me, you guys. Thank you so much for listening. You guys are the best.